I'm Kevin Mason. I'm design manager on Wonderbook Book of Spells, and the Book of Spells is a magical school textbook that you get from the restricted section of the library at Hogwarts. Basically, it teaches you how to cast spells. It'll tell you some of the stories, some of the histories of the spells, and it'll also tell you about the values and qualities it takes to become a good witch or wizard. The writing in it has been done by J.K. Rowling, so it's a totally magical and authentic wizarding experience. Yeah, J.K. Rowling was immense. She gave us all of the descriptions for the spells, you know, how they behave, you know, working out how, you know, the summoning spell works, you know, what are the rules behind that. So she gave us all that information. But she just wrote these beautiful and funny and, you know, slightly sinister stories for the spells, you know. We have their histories, we have examples of how they're used, and they're just played out in this beautiful kind of paper environment that the book creates for them, and it's very, very playful and very, like I say, some of it's a bit dark, sometimes a bit sinister, but always with the kind of a cheeky sense of humour. So, yeah, she's been immense. It's been a real privilege to work with her. For now, we're launching with Book of Spells. That's happening in November of this year. In 2013, we have two titles that we've announced, Walking with Dinosaurs and Diggs Nightcrawler, and they're both very, very different. All three of them are very different to each other. So Walking with Dinosaurs is more like an encyclopedia where you learn about these dinosaurs. It's linked to the BBC TV series. So as you're learning about dinosaurs, you're hearing stories about them, and you kind of learn and discover through narrative, which is really, really exciting. Diggs Nightcrawler is coming out from Moonbot Studios, and that's more of not a straightforward story, but it is just a story experience, like a comic film noir, beautiful animation, funny characters, and a great atmosphere and setting. And that's going to bring on storytelling in a whole new way, because for the first time the player really is a character in that story, and all of the characters in the game, they'll react to you, they'll talk to you, they'll kind of they'll ask you for help. So that's going to feel really, really different and new. And of course, Book of Spells is coming out this side of Christmas, and that's all about you becoming a wizard at Hogwarts. So, you know, learning how to cast spells. You know, you'll be seeing creatures that have been made famous by J.K. Rowling. You'll be battling them and kind of getting yourself into these magical situations. It's going to be a lot of fun. But that's just the start of the Wonderbook story. There's going to be plenty more games coming out. There's going to be obviously things that we can't announce yet that are coming out. I think there's going to be a lot of games for everyone. It's exciting. Yeah, there are more physical pages in Harry Potter, but part of the design of Wonderbook is that obviously we knew that we would want more content than 12 pages. So what you do, once you get to page 12, you shut the book and you bring up the Move controller and press the button, and Chapter Select appears, so it's the equivalent of the main menu. And then you just press, like, I want to go to part 2, or I want to go to chapter 2. And so then you reopen the book at page 1, and then the book continues from where you left off. So there's nothing stopping you from doing a huge book if that's what you want. You'll just turn to the front and start again. So in that way you could do War and Peace if you wanted to on Wonderbook. Or once you have your Wonderbook, and Book of Spells comes free with Wonderbook, you know. So once you have the Wonderbook, then you just need to buy it like a new disc or a new piece of DLC, and that will work with the existing Wonderbook. So you don't need to go out and buy a new book each time you want to play a new game. The first Wonderbook you buy will be able to play all the games from then on. So yeah, it'll be on Blu-ray, or it'll be on available from the PlayStation Store. So yeah, there's going to be plenty of content coming out, and you can get it one way or another. At the moment, for Book of Spells, it's all on the disc. There is no plan for DLC. I think other games in the future, yeah, absolutely, you could do DLC. And I think Wonderbook is a great platform in that regard for, you know, more content arriving. So maybe you've had a few stories, but you like what you've played and what you've heard. You know, a few months after launch, yeah, more stories could arrive. Sort of, so, you know, Diggs Nightcrawler could have more stories with Diggs. But But it's great, you know, once you've got the book, you could buy a Blu-ray disc, you could buy DLC. You just need the book to get playing. It's great. Well, yeah, I can't speak of anything specifically planned. I just think there will be content, you know, games or stories out that will be for an older audience, because, you know, it's Wonderbook. It's one book. It's 1,000 stories, so it could be that a lot of those stories are for older people. And I really like the idea of a thriller being played out on Wonderbook, or a horror story. So I think there's huge potential there. For where we are right now, I think Wonderbook is kind of very cutting edge augmented reality. So I think it's a very immersive and a believable experience. So the fact that you can kind of put your hand on top of the augmented reality markers and still kind of render the graphics underneath, and your hand appears kind of segmented into the scene. It looks very, very seamless. But I think, you know, as these things become kind of more every day in people's lives, I think obviously the technology will move on from there. And I think, you know, the next step for us is kind of augmenting your living room so that things appear sort of correctly based on sort of like, here's a table, I can put something on top of a table, or to see things that can fly around your head. So things that have like a sense of what the actual 3D environment it's in. I think that'll be the next step in augmented reality to make it really, really believable.